you're spending the money on prostitutes. Your spending's out of control.
Wax on, wax off.
You can be a passport bro. Go.
There's two of them.
I've never seen a brown dick before.
You haven't lived.
A joke? It ain't a joke no more.
It's a
There ain't no
lightning
laughing
cross.
mad.
Okay. Oh yeah, he
He had a tiny little baby dick when he was 5, yo. Nothing ever changes. Now look at him, 6'5", a little baby dick on it, looks even smaller.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. Don't be judging people about their dick size when they're babies.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Matt,
I'm Byron.
and this is
Doors Open.
All right, brother. It's been a little bit, but you didn't tell me this, but you're dating somebody.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm dating a woman.
Oh, it was a big surprise for me.
No, she's she's around my age. She's getting her doctorates in geophysics.
Mhm.
Her name is Jackie, and she lives in Colombia.
So we took a bros trip to Colombia,
Yes,
and this was strictly like just
strictly bros.
yes, it was strictly bros, and we didn't do the whole like, yeah, let's go Colombia douchebag thing. We just
Right.
went because it was like good pricing.
Yeah, really good pricing.
But he did meet someone, and I knew they dated, but I didn't know they were still together.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's getting pretty serious,
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so.
and I want to talk about the stigma on passport bros. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I will preface it by saying I am not a passport bro.
You got a passport?
Yeah.
You a bro?
Yeah.
Dude, you're a passport bro. No, I'm just joking. So, what would be your definition of a passport bro?
Well, my definition for what I've heard is basically a dude, a westernized guy who's got his passport. He probably has some money, or he probably, he's got at least enough money to travel, right?
Yeah,
And he goes.
he's like letting on he has money.
And he goes to these countries where people don't have as much money. Women, are in a more desperate situation than they would be in America, and they kind of use that to their advantage. And either promise them things that they're never going to deliver on, so they can sleep with these women and lead them on, or sometimes I guess they do meet people, but a lot of times it's like sex tourism.
Sex tourism. Okay,
Yeah, from what I gathered from it.
Yeah. So I don't think you're a passport bro. I just want to troll you because
Yeah, I know.
that's
what
a
you
bad
do.
friend.
That's what you do.
But I wanted to talk about it because I think a lot of times people, I would say a lot of times women in America
Mhm.
there's a real bad stigma on guys who travel outside of America and meet someone.
Sure.
Right. And a lot of times guys are like, oh, I don't like American women or something like that. Right.
Right.
For the record, I'm married to an American woman and I get it. No, I'm joking. but I'm married to an American woman. So I have nothing against American women, obviously. But a lot of times I hear these interviews and the women are really upset. I'm like, oh, because he's basically a sex tourist.
Yeah.
But what I feel is that you have two consenting adults who understand the situation. And the situation could be this. And first off, a lot of countries it's very normal for there to be like an age gap,
Sure.
Yeah. And if you're someone who's looking to have children, like that's something you have to consider.
Sure.
If you're a 45-year-old male looking for a 45-year-old female to have children could be very difficult and dangerous for the woman.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you got to go younger. Not too young, but like younger.
Right.
So a lot of times I feel like guys who do this, they get a bad rep, but if you've exhausted all the ways you know how to meet someone
Mhm.
and you go somewhere where maybe how you look in a bathing suit is not how people dictate how attractive you are.
Sure.
Maybe you being like a good person, potentially a loving father, a loyal person. Maybe these are attributes that they value.
Sure.
And so that's where they pick you. Like, would you say that's fair? Like that's,
I mean, I don't want to so it's a complicated thing because it's like we as Westerners are like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that because you're taking advantage of people. and there definitely is some of that happens.
Sure.
But
That happens here too.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But it's like it's a little. Sometimes I think unfair for us to like put ourselves in their shoes because we can't. Unless you're in like the most absolute dire straits, poor person in America, it's going to be hard for you to even put yourselves in the sort of like living circumstances that some of these people, like especially in like the rural parts of like Colombia, Cambodia, Thailand, parts of Africa, like especially when they're not in cities and stuff, like the sort of conditions and things they have to live with, like so my girlfriend, she also like started this she's very much into athletics and running and stuff. She started this athletics club for the kids in her city or her town because like to give them some, because there's nothing like there, everybody's very poor. Like some of these kids' families struggle to pay $6 a month for the kids' like fee for the club. That's all the club asks for, $6 a month. And that's to help like, train them, get whatever uniform,
Maybe like
if they
water
go
and
to
stuff like that.
competition. Yeah, all that stuff, right? So it's not for us, that's not a lot of money, but like some of these families struggle to do that.
Yeah.
And so like it's I think it's sometimes you get that sort of like Western superiority complex where I just don't think it's easy for us to step in and be like, shame, shame, shame. At the same time, there are definitely guys who either go over there and lie, overpromise, lead people on.
I mean,
And because they do have the potentiality of being, wealthier or whatever, and that's what some of these women are looking for because they don't want to live in destitute poverty anymore.
Sure.
Like it gives them a sense of, it's a power imbalance.
and not to say that there is a lot of prostitution, but there's prostitution everywhere.
Sure.
And there's going to be people who take advantage of that. So we're not talking about those people because I think everyone knows what kind of person that is, right?
Right.
When that, when you go there, like if you say Colombia is just for like to hooking up with girls, well, that tells me who you are, not who I am.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people there's a lot of like guys who do that, all over the world, like the countries you mentioned.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Just go there strictly.
Sex tourists.
Yeah, sex tourists.
But I'm talking about people who want legitimate relationships out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see a problem with someone who is, like I said, exhausted all the things. And maybe they, back in the 90s, early 2000s, you heard about like Russian mail order brides, but you're talking about people who've exhausted everything and they're just lonely and they want to find a companion.
I mean, I think that exists. I also think, it's like America can be tough because America's like such a big place.
Yeah.
Like there's not really, unless you live in a big city, there's not really gathering spots per se, where you're going to meet necessarily a quality person. Like you can go to a bar, but like you're going to, the chances of you meeting somebody who's like top quality, like this will match everything you want and whatnot at a bar is going to be very low.
Yeah.
So and so people go to apps, and then these apps, they used to be okay, right? They were really trying to like hook people up, but then it just became about keeping you on the app. So then it's all these members. You have to pay for this, pay for life.
Really? So I've never been on any dating app.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So like you have to pay for like Tinder.
So like you don't have to pay for it, but it's like you might only get like 20 right swipes a day.
Oh, really? So you pay per, like after that, they're like, it's like credits.
Well, it's not even credits. It's like, pay a monthly fee and you can swipe on as many people as you want and message as many people as you want. But if you don't pay that monthly fee, maybe you only get to swipe right on 20 people and get to send 3 messages a day or a week or whatever that is. Like, so they gatekeep it all.
Okay.
And then it's also designed to kind of keep you out of it because it's all like half of them are full of bots. So like half the time the people you message aren't real. It's already hard enough to get somebody to respond to you. Like women are flooded with messages.
Okay.
And guys aren't. So like then women start complaining like, oh, well, I just get all these copy and pasted messages. But, from the guy's point of view, it's like, I've got to message 100 women to get one to even respond to me.
It's like the last time we were talking about job applications. It's like,
yeah,
it's like
I gotta,
numbers game.
Yeah. It's a numbers game. And so it's like, I can't sit there and craft 100, awesome, great first messages to only, if I'm getting like one response, maybe, like that's a lot of time. So it's just like, it kind of works against the whole premise.
We've talked about this on the show too, as far as an inflated idea, like, because like you said, a lot of women are getting like hundreds of messages. So there is I guess a
inflated sense of self-worth.
Yeah. You know, and you think that's fair to say? Like,
I would say,
know.
I'm not, look, I don't want to like broad brush it and say every woman's like,
I'm not saying every woman. I'm just saying
but I mean, I do think like there are, of course, there's going to be women out there who are like, oh, well, I get like 500 likes a day. So, you know, my shit don't stink. Right.
I mean, honestly, if I was getting a shit ton of likes all the time, I would probably feel a certain way too.
Right. I've also seen where like it burns women out because they're like, now I've got to weed through all this shit. So they don't even like the dating app now because it's like, I got 500 messages, you know, half of them are just hi, hello, you know, the other half are either just copy paste or, you know, I've got to weed through 500 dudes a day to find if I like one. Like that also can be a burden of the, you know, the other side.
Sure.
Right?
That seems like a rich person complaining they're rich though.
I mean, I guess.
Kind of. He was like, I got to count all this money and Scrooge McDuck over here.
But I guess, but like, if it's like, look at it like this, it's like, I'm like, you're legitimately trying to find somebody.
No, I get it. But do you think they are though?
I think there are.
Because I feel like I think
it's what app you're on. Like if you're a woman or a man on Tinder, you know, 90% chance you're just looking to fuck.
Oh.
If you're like on Hinge or Bumble, although Bumble, whatever. But if you're on one of those, I think those people are more often not looking for a more serious relationship than just fucking.
Okay. I don't know the differences, but I have heard of Hinge and Bumble and Tinder.
Yeah.
Is that the main ones, the big three, I guess?
The ones that I know of that are big right now. And I don't like, I started dating my girlfriend, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, you know, I got off all that shit. So I don't know what's popular currently, but at that time you have Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, and then OkCupid.
And then, my co-host a couple weeks ago said Grindr was really popular for him.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the hot dudes and you're a dude, that's the way to go.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Well, now I know. That's a lot of good information to have. Okay, so I think we kind of agree somewhat on the passport bros, as far as like it's not always black and white.
It's not.
It's really your true intentions, and that's every relationship.
Sure.
You know, there's gonna be people who take advantage of people, guys and girls.
Right.
Dude, I mean, I don't want to be in that rat race.
Don't.
That's
if you can avoid it, do.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna be. You know,
you can be a passport bro. Go. No.
But I'm happy because you seem happy.
I am happy.
Yeah.
She's a great girl.
Yeah, I met her. She's very nice. Very nice. But 7 months. I bet you guys are saying like I love you the whole time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Bitch.
You little bitch.
You little bitch. Oh, shh. Okay. So, am I the asshole for cutting off my friendship with my best friend after she joked about dick size in her friend group? No. We don't do that. You don't joke about dick size.
When they joke, it ain't a joke no more.
There's a
ain't
line
no
you
laughing
cross,
mad.
Okay? You can't be joking around by that. We don't like jokes like that. I, 17-year-old male, have been close friends with Ava, 17-year-old female. I feel weird that they're 17, but okay. Since we were like babies, her dad and my dad were close friends, and Ava and I were born a month apart. So by extension, we spent a lot of our time together. We've become even closer friends in middle school and high school, and I even kind of considered her like my sister. Everyone knows we're close friends, and many have asked why we aren't dating. But to be honest, how can we? When we consider each other siblings, it's never even once crossed my mind or our minds. I don't believe you.
I don't believe him.
Yeah, I don't believe you, bro.
I'm starting to feel like this story didn't happen. Just from him reading this bit right here, and the way it's being described, it seems like it's almost too perfectly crafted. And it, like this is just like rage bait for somebody in the comments to be like, "How dare she?"
Maybe that'd be interesting if it was like the next sentence was like, "Psych."
Yeah.
It's never crossed your mind. I don't believe that. Not one time.
I never thought about dating this girl I'm like really close with.
The only reason why that is possible in my mind is she's extremely unattractive. You
Possibly,
know, like just conventionally, and you find zero attractiveness.
Or she just has like one of those real grating laughs. like the nanny, like something like that. Just like,
Dude, I work through that. She's pretty enough. I will work through that. You know what I mean? I'm a hard worker, okay? I look for the ins and
I can
outs.
tune out anything, man. I can tune out. I can compartmentalize it.
Yes.
No problem.
Just go inside a little place in my mind, just lock it away. If she's funny, there's other things you gotta look at. It's not just about
You got that SpongeBob laugh.
Dude, that might make it go better. Dude, that's better even SpongeBob, dude. That's my childhood, homie.
I'll be your handsome Squidward.
Do you do a Patrick voice? I feel like you could do a Patrick voice.
I'd have to hear it to try.
We don't have that capability. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, one of her friends, Maddie, reached out to me and texted me a screenshot of her girls group. In the group, they were talking about my size. Oh,
how does she even know your size?
Yeah, you never thought about having, hooking up with her, just sending dick pics.
Friends. But she knows how big my dick is.
Hey, Ava, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not normal. Okay. They were talking about my dick size and telling Ava there was no point in dating me and things like that. That sucks. That sucks if they're like saying that.
I'm just like, how do these people know your dick size?
We'll get to that, but that sucks if people are just talking about like you can't date him because of his dick size. That's no
Did
bueno.
they say how old they were?
17.
Okay.
I
feel like it's like a 17-year-old conversation. Like, you can't date him because his dick's too small.
I like that voice. Okay, here we go. Ava was sending a lot of laughing memes and agreeing with what they were saying. I'm guessing they know about my size because one of the girls in the group has a boyfriend who probably peeked at me in the urinal. What?
All right, this story's not real. This story's not real.
Not real.
There's a boyfriend who probably peeked at me. He's like,
That's your conclusion? He's like, how do you know about my dick? One of these guys must have looked at my dick.
I am 41 years old, and all the 41 years that I've used urinals in public restrooms, never once have I peeked at any man standing next to me. So, like, especially at 17, I wasn't like,
Yes, you want to be in high school and get caught looking at a guy's dick?
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean? What if he caught? What are you doing?
Yeah.
High school's over, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be doing that. All right, so I don't believe you, but we'll continue. The urinals in our school have no dividers. So what, dude? Most urinals don't have dividers.
Yeah.
Now, for context, I'm an average size when I'm hard, but it's really small when it's soft. That's how it goes when you're a grower.
It happens.
Isn't it? I'm joking. Small when it's soft. And while I wasn't that insecure about it before, seeing the text just made me feel embarrassed and humiliated. I thanked Maddie for the screenshots, and I told her she would remain anonymous until now.
Yeah.
Until now.
Maddie. You dumb bitch.
Gotcha. The next day, when I saw Ava at class, and I said hi, I kind of just ignored her. Ava was surprised, and she did try to talk to me the rest of the day, but I told her to just leave me alone. Ava texted me a bunch of things like asking what happened, and I just ghosted her. This carried on for the next couple days, where there were just a lot of texts and missed calls and awkwardness in school. However, after a few days, I was upfront with her and I told her I didn't want to be friends with her anymore. She did look shocked and really sad, and I asked why, and she asked why, and I told her just to leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I'd be like, look, I saw what you said about my dick. How do you know about my dick?
Yeah.
I have a lot of dick questions. A lot of people ask me what happened, even my parents. But I just think being friends with Ava is bad for my mental health. A couple of Ava's friends have even told me about how Ava is sad and crying, stuff like that. But to be honest, I don't even believe most of what they're saying. But even if it's true, I don't really care. Am I the asshole? Dude, I don't believe this is real.
I don't believe it's real.
But if it is
real, like, here's the thing. Like,
how do they know about your dick?
Yeah, how they know about your dick? Why are they talking about it? And then why aren't you just honest with your friend and be like, yeah, I saw the messages where you were talking about my dick. How do you know what my dick looks like? Supposedly, if you have no no feelings for this girl. There's no way she should know what your dick looks like.
Unless you guys were little kids and you guys took baths together or something.
But that's
some
even like,
random
I'm
thing.
not going to judge somebody on what
I
the
know,
dick
when you were
looked
a
like
kid.
when they were like 5 years
It's
old.
like, oh yeah,
Yo, he had a tiny little baby dick when he was 5, yo. Nothing ever changes. Now look at him, 6'5", a little baby dick on it, looks even smaller.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. Don't be judging people about their dick size when they're babies.
Yeah. Yo, look at a newborn, his little baby dick. He'll be a baby dick for the rest of his life. Can't believe it. Micro penis from the start.
Things don't change. Once small dick, always a small dick.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. When I came out, they were like, that dick's too big.
Yeah. Put it back in.
Yeah, we don't believe you're real. But if you are real, we have a lot of questions. But you're not an asshole because it's basically someone talking shit behind your back. Your best friend making fun of you behind your back. And that's okay to let that.
But I think, like, here's my thing. I think you handled it wrong. You should talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I also think, like,
17.
she's in a group text where they're saying all this. In high school, there's a lot of pressure to conform and fit in.
Mhm.
She might not believe it. She might think your dick's huge. But, like, you know, she's just going along to get along. I'm not saying that excuses her or makes it okay. I'm just saying, like, that could be a reason why that conversation went the way it did. And if you're really best friends with her like you say you are and have no sexual attraction, then you should definitely have a conversation with her and be like, what was this all about? Yada, yada, yada. And definitely find out how they know what your dick looks like. Yes, I mean, like, it just came out of like left field. It's like, I don't like this girl, have no sexual feelings, but then her and her friends were talking about my cock.
And is your explanation of why they would be talking about, like, one of her boyfriends peed beside you?
Yeah,
and
I don't
looked over. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I was taking a piss with Matt the other day and I decided to take a look at his dick.
You'd be surprised.
And it was brown. It's weird. I've never seen a brown dick before.
You haven't lived. All right. No, you are not the asshole, but you do have some things you need to work on.
Yes.
All right, on to the next. Am I the asshole for divorcing my depressed wife because her depression and depression-induced spending are dragging me down?
No.
No?
I don't need to hear the story. No. And not to say that just because your spouse goes through mental health issues that you should divorce them. But, you know, there comes a point where if they're doing things that are harming themselves or others or yourself, and they aren't doing anything to rectify those actions, then yeah, you don't need to be drugged down with
Yeah,
it.
it's impacting you,
Yeah.
you know, severely. I mean,
Yeah.
money is the number one reason for divorce anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one thing if she's like depressed, you're like, well, I just don't want to be with a depressed person. I'm going to divorce her. That's shitty. It's another thing. It's like, she's,
I mean, that is shitty, but I mean,
well, I mean, also
it's
depends.
difficult
It
to
depends.
be married to someone who's chronically depressed.
I agree. There's like, there's factors, right? You know, it's like she's going through a depressive period. That's one thing. She's been in a depressive period for 10 years. That's another thing, right? I'm not saying you have to wait 10 years before you can be like, make that judgment, but I'm just
But
saying.
you would.
Yes,
based on
I
what you
would.
said.
Yes, that's what I said the last time. It's like, so let's all get better.
Dude,
It'll work.
me too.
Yeah. But like, you know, like if she's literally financially dragging you down because she is like depression spending because it makes her, it gives her that temporary dopamine boost.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't need to stay for that. I wouldn't stay for that.
I agree to an extent, but it also depends on what kind of conversations you guys have had.
Sure.
Like, if you haven't mentioned this being an issue, then, dude, that's on you.
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
100%.
communicate and say, hey, look, you know, the finances, and plus, also depends on your financial situation. Because if you're like really, really, really well off,
Mhm.
I don't know. It depends what you're buying. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
like if you're really well off, she's like, I keep buying like Candy Crush credits or something. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, okay, that's what you like to do.
You
Whatever.
got all these Hummel figurines. What, they make those anymore?
I don't even know what that is. We're the same age. I don't know what that is. All right, let's find out. At what point do I leave my wife because her depression and depression-induced spending is dragging me down? When my wife, 36, female, and I met, 35, male, I was in my MBA program. and I was finishing up her, and she was sweet, and she was finishing up her certification process to become a nurse anesthesiologist. They make really good money.
Yeah.
I was drawn to drive an optimistic view of the world. We were both young adults, 26 and 27, who saw the world as an endless source of opportunity. We discussed having kids when we were more established in our careers.
All right, pause for a second.
Yes.
I don't know. When I was 26, 27, I was much more jaded than this. Like, I never looked at the world as an endless world of opportunity. At 26, 27, I'm like, oh, God, there's like 40 more years of this. 50 more years of this. God.
Well, I mean, I feel you on that. I think they have a good, they started off good start. It's a good start.
Sure.
When you get a really good start, and like we talked about previously, we were nerds growing up.
Yeah.
You know,
100.
like, dude, if girls liked me, I didn't know. I've talked about this before. I didn't know. No one said anything to me.
Same.
Yeah. So, like, some people get a head start in life, and maybe they got a head start, so they're focused. And I'm Asian, so my parents were like, "Be a doctor, be this," but they didn't guide me.
Yeah.
There's no guidance. It's just do
like,
this.
Do this.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
And guess what? I'm just some asshole of a podcast. That didn't work out.
They even gave you your middle name and made you doctor.
Yes, my middle name means doctor. No pressure. No pressure at all. After graduation, we both went to work. I got a job consulting, making $200,000 a year with a signing bonus. Good.
Yeah,
That's awesome,
I
bro.
need to go back to school to get that job.
And I have continued to grow my career. My wife was crushing it at her dream hospital, making $150K before overtime. We were so very happy traveling and enjoying ourselves. We eventually bought our home and were truly living our dreams until about 3 years ago, my wife had a mental breakdown at home between shifts and at the hospital. She was eventually hospitalized for a few weeks. I think you're the asshole. Sounds like she went through some really traumatic shit.
Yeah, or she was like overworked, overstressed.
Yeah.
And she had a mental breakdown.
Dude, marriage is like, a lot of it's gonna be hard times, man.
Yeah.
I'm judging you, and it's okay. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here for the judgment.
But like, I feel
Let's see.
like-
Maybe we'll see. Let's see what they say. Because maybe
I'm done with it. I don't like this guy. We'll see. Like, the next line's like, she started fucking all these guys behind my back. Like, oh, I get it. So you're spending the money on prostitutes? Your spending's out of control. Okay. After she came home, we agreed she would take 6 months off to recover, and I would take care of us. Immediately, she started spending on an average of $2,000 to $3,000 every other week,
Jesus.
traveling with friends and weekend trips. She stopped helping around the house and was constantly out of the house. I completely supported this for the first 6 months. She said it was part of her healing process, and I understand entirely, though sickness and in health. Okay, I'm switching sides. That's a lot of money.
I
She
just
looks like
did
she's
the
not
math.
trying.
He's dropped roughly like $25,000 in 6 months on her
Hanging out with her
which
friends.
is nuts.
Yeah. Then the agreed 6 months passed, and I asked if she was ready to return to the work part-time. This caused her to shut down, so I backed off. Then a year passed and revisited again. Another breakdown ensued. I asked if she was ready to consider starting our family and being a homemaker instead of working. We were in a great financial position and didn't need the money. I think this is actually, I'm switching sides here. I'm switching sides completely. I
Over
think,
to him?
yeah, to
Oh,
him.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No. I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean,
If he's being honest.
yeah, obviously we're getting one side of the story. I mean, if he's being honest, yeah.
It seems reasonable.
It seems reasonable. Her spending all that money seems crazy to me. Even at the price they're like, even at 300,
Income. Yeah.
they're combined 350 a year, like dropping 25K in 6 months on just shit.
Yeah.
Like that just seems nuts to me.
She agreed, and for the last year, we have been trying to have a baby. We have even done fertility testing and have been given a "you are both healthy, keep trying" last week. I was driving her car and dropped my phone. I pulled over and grabbed it from under the driver's seat and to my surprise, found birth control pills.
This,
You don't believe it?
I'm starting to be iffy about this story. It like seems too perfectly.
Bro, we can't go through this. You don't believe anyone. I mean, shit like this happens though.
It
man.
does happen. Yeah.
You know?
I'll reserve my judgment.
You don't have to. We can argue. I was shocked and turned around on my way to work to confront her.
Yeah.
She broke down and called me an abuser for trying to force kids on her. Damn! She has never told me that she didn't want kids, and I would absolutely never push her. She then started blaming me for her breakdown. She said it's my fault she can't work. I then brought up on how I've handled 95% of the cooking and cleaning for the last 3 years because I was trying to support her and allow her to heal while she traveled and racked up $10K in credit bill every month for me to pay off. That's kind of ridiculous.
That is nuts.
Since she has shut down and refuses to talk to me, I have been sleeping in our vacation home. He's doing really good.
We're sleeping in our vacation home.
Oh gosh, and it happened.
In the hand.
I've been sleeping at our vacation house because he says it's detrimental to her mental health to share a space with me, her abuser. I can't shake the feeling that I have been lied to and taken advantage of for years now. I want a divorce, but at the same time, if she is genuinely sick, I don't want to abandon her. Am I the asshole for even considering leaving my sick wife? I can't shake the feeling that I'm selfish for even considering this. No, you're not.
All right.
You're not an asshole.
First off,
Oh,
I definitely don't believe this is real because it seems way too well crafted to kind of like hate on this woman. Second off, even if it is, let's pretend it is.
Mhm.
Like, I think this guy is long overdue for couples counseling, and because she could be taking advantage of you.
they never once mentioned therapy or anything.
Right. She could be taking advantage of you. She could be just severely sick or burnt out. But regardless of whatever that is, you need to address like her lack of participation in the marriage. I don't know if they're still having sex or what, but I'm just saying like she's not cleaning, she's not cooking,
Yeah.
she's not helping out around the house. Obviously, she's not paying the bills, but you know she's not even helping clean and cook. On top of all that, you know, like you need to go to marriage counseling because that's unattainable. Like you should not. Nobody should have to do 95% of the work in a relationship.
No, I agree. And I think you're being, if this is true, you are being taken advantage of, whether she's aware of it or not.
Right.
She's got it really good. You're making enough money so you have a vacation home. You're doing most of the work, all the pain of the bills,
Right.
the pain of the bills, the pain of the bills.
Yeah.
But like you're doing all this and you want to have a family, which is fine. And it seems like she agreed to have a family, which is fine. She changed her mind, which is also fine. But that's a conversation that needs to happen.
Right.
And that conversation didn't happen.
But her calling you an abuser,
That's manipulation.
that's manipulation. Right?
Like, but we're only hearing your side of the story. So
Yeah.
maybe you are.
Yeah.
What if she was like, he hits me? I'm like, oh, you're an asshole. You deserve whatever you get. But you don't seem like that if this is true. I'm sorry life turned out the way it did, man. Like I always say this, you can't help who you love, but you can help who you're with.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. And I know it sucks sometimes, like you build these foundations with people or you've known them for so long. It's like hard to picture like what a day without them there is.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the day, like if you're unhappy, if it's hurting you, whether it's financially, physically, mentally, whatever, like it's not worth sitting in there. Like you don't, like it's one thing you support people and help and so they can get better, but it's like it shouldn't become your burden. Like mental health isn't your fault, but it's your responsibility. And it like as the husband, you can be there to support her, but it can't become your burden to bear.
When is it enough though?
I mean, enough.
You know what
I think enough's enough is when you've done this for 3 years. I mean, I think enough's enough.
I mean, for you.
I mean, I would say like in a similar situation, like after a year, we would need to have a serious conversation. Why I understand like, okay, you can't work right now. You're burnt out. Your mental health's not there, whatever. But it's like, but you could make dinner,
Sure.
go do the grocery shop.
What are you bringing to the
house.
table?
Yeah. What are you bringing to the table? And
It seems like he figured, if she's raising our children, or
sure. And he's like,
then that's the balance, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't think he was trying to, from what he says, I don't think he's trying to force her into it, but he's like, that's the plan we always had. So if you're not ready to go back to work, maybe we could start on this phase of our life. And she obviously, I mean, my thing is like, if she's not mentally healthy enough to go back to work and deal with that sort of like responsibility right now, I don't know why you'd want to move into the let's have kids phase of life with her.
I guess it all depends on why she couldn't go back to work, right?
I guess, but I mean, I feel like if she's having a mental health breakdown.
You know what it is, man? Some people think that doing a big thing's going to fix their problems. Oh, we have the issues. Let's get married. That's going to fix it. We're going to love each other more. Yeah. Oh, man, we're fighting all the time. Let's have a kid. And they'll bring us together. We'll have this common.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It does not.
It just exacerbates the problem.
It just gets harder, man. Like everyone thinks their future. This is my sister says this to me. It's true. Mm-hmm. Everyone thinks so highly of their future self.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm going to do this. I'm going to be great at this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, and no, you got to start now, these little steps to better yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to wake up one day and know French. You got to study.
True.
Yeah. You got to study it.
Do that.
It's, yeah, you're not the asshole. She might be the asshole, but we're only hearing your side.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not. Well, you're not the asshole.
Do you think he's the asshole?
I don't think he's the asshole in the story as he tells it.
I feel like you're more on the side on the wife than you should be.
No, I'm just like, I've read a lot of these like sort of stories, and like there's a lot of them that always seem like perfectly crafted to just like make like women seem shitty. So it's like rage bait. I've noticed that a lot. And like, I don't know, his life seems like way too perfect. And maybe that's what's throwing me off. It's like, straight out of college, I got a $200,000 a year job and she's making 150. And
I mean, I could promise you this guy probably came from a really good family.
Oh, I'm sure. He probably did. He probably did. But I'm just saying, like, it just seems too perfect. That's all. But in the story as he says it, I don't think he's the asshole.
Yeah. I think you have an issue where you don't want to seem misogynistic or sexist at all.
No, that's not it.
So you do want to seem.
Yeah, exactly. Am I succeeding?
You always. Typical man. Well, I'm Matt.
I'm Byron.
And this is
Doors Open.